of a beautiful so excited because I love PowerPoint. So the mechanism behind each of the drugs, the others working on vasodilation coming in. So that makes sense to me that you
actually work on. Let's look at diagram A.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Kidney Coach YouTube channel. I am naturopath Fiona Chin, co-founder of the Kidney Coach and co-founder of Kygenesis, a range of supplements designed for people diagnosed with chronic kidney disease. And I'm delighted to be joined again by becoming very fast one of my favorite guests, the beautiful Therese. Therese is a consultant pharmacist, health strategist, and wellness researcher who specializes in bridging the gap between traditional medicine and functional health strategies. She has a keen eye and knowledge on chronic diseases such as kidney disease, metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure, and she provides practical science-based solutions that empower individuals to take control of their health. So let's walk through each of the drugs involved in the triple whammy. I'd love to understand from your point of view, because we've talked about it before in other podcasts, but we've never had a pharmacist walk us through the mechanism. And you gave me a sneak peek of a beautiful so excited because I love PowerPoint. So the mechanism behind each of the drug and how that works, and how, and I don't know if you have spoken about this in the PowerPoint, but how they stack on top of each other to then, combine them, greater risk.
So when I was in pharmacy school, the thing that really helped me understand it was the visuals. So I'm just going to share my screen, and then you can see like what I've got here. So
perfect, I can see that.
Yes, perfect. So what we have here is the nephrons in the kidneys, and you've got, I'm going to make it a bit bigger.
Okay. Yes, perfect. Thank you.
All right, wonderful. So on the left-hand side is your normal nephrons, and you have the vasodilator bit, which is the inflow. So when you actually have, circulation, that's where it enters into the kidneys, and then the vasoconstrictor bit is the outflow, if you like. And where the mechanism, or when the brown stuff hits the fan, is when you've got hypertension and you're trying to actually reduce it. Most times you actually work on, let's look at diagram A. You're actually reducing the perfusion, so it's low perfusion. So things like your ACE inhibitors, is going to reduce the outflow, which is the vasoconstrictor bit, because ACE inhibitors, they actually vasodilate. The inflow are your anti-inflammatories and your diuretics. It reduces the flow coming in. And then if you add sort of like your ACE inhibitors or your angiotensin receptor blockers, you actually have no outflow. And which means that if you got a pipe and then you switch on the tap, nothing's moving because the inflow is weak and the outflow is weak. And then you have a reduction in the flow through the kidneys.
Right.
Yeah, does that make sense? Yeah.
It does. And I had no idea that the angiotensins were working on the vasoconstricting, mechanism of flow versus the others working on vasodilation coming in. So that makes sense to me, that you basically got, like a valve that's not really pushing much pressure through, meaning you're not getting enough hyperperfusion and blood flow and waste products moving adequately through kidney tissue. Is that the layman's way of explaining it?
100%. So we'll go through the signs and symptoms in the next slide. But what you're highlighting is that because the kidney cannot do what it normally does in terms of detoxification, so there's toxins accumulation. And then the next slide will help people understand, like most times there's no symptoms. We call it, the patient is asymptomatic. So again, I think the key message is, if you're actually concerned, it's very, very easy to walk up to your primary care practitioner and get a kidney health check. So when you have a build-up of fluid, because there's no outflow, you can get swelling in your extremities, which is your ankles, your hands, and your face. Sometimes you might have less urine to actually pass because there's no flow, just that pipe there's no input and there's no output. So it's just basically stuck and just not working. The color of the urine could be red or brownish. And then with all the metabolites that it accumulates, no wonder somebody might feel tired, been vomiting. And itchiness is one thing that comes out quite a bit. Like if they've got even long-term kidney problems, so if somebody's itchy, there's a sign that there's a toxin buildup and accumulation of metabolites.
Thank you so much for being on the show. If you want to know more about what we do, head to www.kidneycoach.com. You'll find us on Facebook and Instagram under the same handles. And remember to hit subscribe and